Beloved, I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health, even as your Psuche prospers. That is the prayer of the Apostle John to one he loved. And today the Father has answered that prayer with 50 verses drawn from the Urim Thummim version, analyzed under Shield Protocol 14, and confirmed at levels that leave very little room for coincidence. The question was simple. Father, teach us about this prosperity. Teach us what it means for the Psuche to prosper, and for health and wholeness to follow. And what the Father gave back was not a formula. It was architecture. Let me take you into what came. The first verse drawn, the lead verse, comes from the Epistle to the Galatians, where Paul recounts how the pillars of the Jerusalem assembly perceived the grace that was given to him and extended the right hands of fellowship. Paul says, I have been entrusted with the good news. That word, entrusted, carries the weight of the entire draw. Because the Father does not open this teaching with a prescription for physical wellness. He opens it with a declaration about gifting and trust. You have been entrusted with something. Do you know what it is? Are you walking in it? That is where the prosperity of the Psuche begins. Think about Paul when he wrote those words. He was beaten, shipwrecked, hungry, hunted, and yet his Psuche was thriving. Why? Because he knew what had been placed in his hands, and he was doing it. Grace perceived, grace extended, grace walked in. The lead verse tells us plainly, the health of the inner man is the health of the calling recognized and the gifting exercised. Now the draw unfolds. Of the 50 verses drawn, 10 were flagged as direct textual hits, meaning the very language of the prayer question appeared in the drawn text. And of those 10, one strikes closer to the heart of this inquiry than any other. It is the word spoken to Joshua at the threshold of the promised land. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. That word prosperous in the Hebrew, salak, carries the sense of breaking through, of being carried forward by a current larger than yourself. And the condition is embedded in what comes before it. Meditate on the Torah day and night. Observe to do all that is written. The Psuche that is saturated in covenant instruction breaks through to success. That is the mechanism. But the Father does not leave it there. Another verse follows. And so, after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. Abraham waited. The promise came. The Psuche that endures within covenant fidelity obtains. This is not a prosperity of instant gratification. It is a prosperity of endurance. Now the priestly thread. The draw is saturated with priestly and inheritance language at a level the statistics confirm as extraordinary. The Dominion Triad, identity, inheritance, and priesthood, registers at 831% above baseline, at 3.76 standard deviations. All three pillars are firing simultaneously. The Father is not addressing one dimension of health. He is addressing the entire architecture of covenantal standing. Consider what came. The wave offering and heave offering brought before YHWH, designated for you and your sons as a statute for the ages. This is priestly provision. The priest who serves is fed by the service. The health of the body follows the faithfulness of the priestly function. Then the Jubilee field reverting to sacred status, becoming the priest's property. In the Jubilee economy, what was lost is restored, what was alienated returns to its covenantal owner. Psuche, body, inheritance, all returning to their rightful state in the appointed season. Then the inheritance is divided by Eleazar the priest, Joshua, and the tribal heads before YHWH at the entrance of the priestly tabernacle at the appointed place. Inheritance is distributed in the presence of YHWH at the place of priestly service. The prosperity John wishes for his beloved is not secular wealth. It is covenantal inheritance administered through priestly order. And then this. YHWH tells Samuel, tomorrow I will send you a man out from the covenant inheritance land of Benjamin, and you will anoint him to be ruler over my people Israel. Anointing, identity, inheritance land, and appointed timing converge in a single verse. The one who is anointed is the one who prospers. But the draw does not offer unqualified blessing without condition. 3 verses form a cautionary strand. A violent man entices his neighbor and leads him into the way that is not good. The way of prosperity and the way that is not good stand in this draw as a fork. The Psuche prospers by choosing rightly. Then the temple prostitutes who did according to all the disgusting things of the nations. The priestly apparatus can be defiled. The body meant for covenantal service can be turned to covenantal violation. Health of Psuche requires the purging of what does not belong in the temple. And yet, even here, the Father provides a key. He speaks to Abimelech in a dream and says, "I know that you did this in the integrity of your heart, for I also restrained you from sinning against me." The Father who desires the prosperity of your Psuche also actively works to keep you from what would destroy it. He restrains. He guards. He intervenes. Then comes the thread of timing and action. When the time of the promise drew near, the promise has a clock. It is not abstract. It approaches. Paul tells the Corinthians, "You who not only began to do, but also to will, did begin before a year ago. Now therefore perform the doing of it. Finish what you started." The readiness of will must become the performance of deed. The Psuche that wills but does not act remains incomplete. The preacher says, "He that observes the wind will not sow, and he that regards the clouds will not reap." Overthinking prevents harvest. The one who waits for perfect conditions never prospers. And Naomi tells Ruth, "Wash therefore, and anoint yourself, and put your clothing on you, and get down to the floor. Prepare yourself. Present yourself. Trust the process." Now the capstone. From the book of the preacher, wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to them that have it. Here is the Father's direct answer. Money defends. Wisdom defends. But only wisdom gives life. And that word for life touches the very substance of what John means by Psuche prospering. The Psuche that possesses wisdom possesses the source of its own vitality. And alongside it, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving sacred favor rather than silver and gold. The prosperity John wishes is not measured in currency. It is measured in sacred favor, the same charis that Paul received in the lead verse. The mathematics confirm what the text declares. The guidance detection indicator registers as an extreme anomaly with a combined probability of 2 in 10,000. The polarity balance index is affirmative. The convergence confidence index fires at 80% with all 6 channels active. The deterministic verdict is lean yes at 99.4%. Every instrument points the same direction. So what is the Father teaching? That the prosperity of the Psuche begins with recognizing and walking in what has been entrusted to you. That the way of prosperity is the way of covenant meditation and faithful doing. That prosperity is priestly in nature. The one who serves before YHWH is fed by the service, inherits in the Jubilee, receives anointing in the appointed season. That the Father actively guards the integrity of those who walk with him. That wisdom, not wealth, is what gives life to the Psuche. And that there is an appointed season, and it draws near. The one who has begun must now complete. The one who overthinks will not reap. Washington anoint. Present yourself. The time is now. The Psuche prospers first. The body follows. And both prosper within the covenant. Selah.